The BPM add-on of the CUBA platform enables integration of business process management functionality into CUBA applications. The add-on is based on the activity framework, so you can utilize the full power of this framework to create real-life processes. In this video, we will create a project demonstrating implementation of a simple business process. We will use contract approval process as an example. The approval process in our application will involve two simple steps. A user creates the contract object, defines actors, and initiates the approval process. An actor with a manager role receives the task to approve the contract. So, the process model will only include one user task and one actor. You can find a more complicated example in our BPM documentation on our website. To begin with, create a new project in CUBA Studio. Include the BPM add-on in the Project Properties window. Now, let us create the data model. In fact, we only need the contract entity for our process. The contract is characterized by its number, date, and state. Set the instance name and save the entity. Let us create browser and editor screens to view and create contracts. Standard screen templates suit us well. Our application is just about ready. Generate database scripts, create the database, and run the application. We can now move on to create new process model. Open the process model screen in the application interface and create contract approval process. A new Model Editor browser tab will be opened. Select the Process Roles property in the Model Properties panel. In our process, only one type of actors participates in the process, a manager. Create a role for him. Drag and drop the Start Event node from the Start Events group to the workspace. We need to display a form to select a process actor when the process starts. Select the Start Event node. Select the Start form in its Properties panel. The BPM add-on includes a set of predefined forms for different types of events. However, you can always create your own custom forms. In the Form Selection window, select Standard Form in the Form Name field. Then, add a parameter with true value that indicates that a table for process actor selection will be displayed on the form. Add the User Task node from the Activities group to the model. Name it Approval. Select this node and assign Manager to the Process Role property. This way, we define that the task will be assigned to the process actor with the Manager role. Next, select the Task Outcomes property. The window for Task Outcomes Edit will be opened. Outcomes define possible user actions when user receives task. Create two outcomes, Approve and Reject. Select the standard form for both outcomes. Add form parameter, comment required for the reject outcome, because we want a user to add a comment if a contract is rejected. Following the manager's decision, we should assign the corresponding state to the contract. The exclusive gateway node from the gateways group is used to control the process flow. Add it to the workspace and then add two more elements of the script task type. Set their names to set approved state and set rejected state. Select the Set Approved State node and set its script property. The text of this Groovy script you can find on this tutorial's web page. Apply similar Groovy script for the Set Rejected State. Here the entity ID is a process variable that stores an identifier of the contract, which is linked to the process. Its value is set on the process start. Select the rejected flow. Expand the flow outcome drop-down list from the Properties panel. It shows outcomes from the tasks before the gateway. Select the reject value. Now, if the reject outcome is selected, a transition to this flow will be performed. The approved flow should be marked as the default flow. It will be selected if no other flow's condition is true. Select the approved flow and tick the default flow property. The model is almost created. To finalize it, drag and drop the end event to the workspace, then link both script tasks with this end event and press the Save Model button. The model is ready. We can now move on to the model deployment. Select the model in the list of the Process Model screen. Press the Deploy button. The model deployment window will be displayed. The model is deployed for the first time, so the Create New Process option should be selected. You will be able to deploy the model to existing processes for further model changes. Click OK. The process definition is created. Now we will add the ability to run the contract approval process to the contract editor screen. Let us add a group box with process actions frame to the contract edit XML file. This frame is a screen component that will display buttons with possible actions according to the current process state. In our case, there will be Approve and Reject. The screen component definition for the group box you can find on this tutorial's page. To add the logic to the contract editor, we switch to the Java controller and code a bit. This code will initialize process actions frame on the contract screen, show a notification when a Start Process button is clicked and the contract approval process is started, and link it with the current contract instance. You can copy and paste this code from the tutorial page as well. Now let's create a test user for a manager to demonstrate the process. Open the user screen and create a new user. Open the contracts list and create a new contract. Fill the number and date fields and click the Start Process button. During the model creation, we have defined the standard form with an attribute process actors visible, which is true for the Start Event node. That's why now we see the form with the process actor. Add an actor, select Norman for the manager. Press OK. Now the process is started. Login as Norman. When a process reaches the user task node, a process task object is created. This object is linked to the particular process actor. The BPM add-on has a screen for displaying uncompleted task for a user. Let us open it. We see that the user Norman has one uncompleted task approval of the contract approval process. Select it and click the Open Entity Editor button. The contract edit screen will appear. The current user has one uncompleted task, so the process actions frame displays available process actions. When we were defining the approval user task node, we have set two possible outcomes, approve and reject. That's why two buttons are added to the process actions frame. Click the Approve button. Enter any comment and click OK. This contract is approved. The objective of our tutorial is achieved. To browse all processes, open the Process Instances tab. It displays the list of all processes, both active and finished. You can find detailed information on the process in its editor. Here we can see the process start time, initiator, attachments list, actors list, process instance tasks list. The screen also allows you to open the linked entity editor and execute the process action. We have passed the most basic scenario of using business processes in your application. To get more details, feel free to consult the documentation on our website and join our community. To try a more complicated example with several tasks and flows and multiple actors with business logic moved to the server side, follow the BPM Quick Start in the documentation. Thank you for watching.